Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Wednesday, December 29th, and this local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow you. We open with an update on a story from November when a Georgia fugitive was arrested during a traffic stop. On November 21st, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle traveling on Belterre due to a vehicle infraction. The driver, identified as Benjamin Jacob Bowie, was arrested for carrying a concealed firearm, resisting an officer without violence, and possession of cannabis, with additional charges pending lab results from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement on a firearm that deputies believe had been altered into a fully automatic machine gun. On December 17th, the FDLE laboratory concluded the Glock 17 handgun seized during the traffic stop had been converted into a machine gun against state and federal law. Sheriff Rick Staley said traffic stops are never routine, and this case proves it. Bowie was additionally arrested for possession of a short-barreled firearm. He's currently being held at the Sheriff Perry Hall Inmate Detention Facility on no bond. It's been a tough but positive year for the city of Bunnell. Amy Cherry reports.
City Manager Alvin Jackson talks about some of the changes.
We reinstituted our impact fees for law enforcement, recreation, and transportation, and that will actually be a great enhancement for our infrastructure areas. Also this year, we are happy to say that we have secured some financing for our expansion of our wastewater treatment plant.
Jackson says the city has also purchased land on Flagler Commerce Parkway to build a new city hall and police department. He called 2022 a year of project management.
So there are exciting times here in Bunnell. We're looking for funding from the state and possibly the feds on expanding Flagler Commerce Parkway, which would be a great breakthrough road from 100 to US 1 here in Bunnell. And that area actually becomes a catalyst for economic development where manufacturers, warehousing, distribution, as well as multifamily units can be built.
From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
2022 brings some changes and additions to the Flagler County Sheriff's Office. Rich Petchke has details.
Sheriff Rick Staley says the department is creating a new unit specifically to address financial crimes.
We know that when the economy is very strong, sometimes people prey on our community. And we saw this the last time pre-2008 and then after 2008 when contractors either overextended themselves or committed frauds. So we're going to create a financial crimes unit to focus on that.
Staley says they are adding a second detective to the department's Internet Crimes and Cyber Crimes unit, which also handles child pornography cases.
It just amazes me how much of that is out there, the offenders in this community. And quite frankly, the age of some of these offenders are well under age 18, and they're already dealing in child pornography, and we're just not going to tolerate that.
And Staley says the department should be in its new operations center by the end of next year. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
By this spring, local public health experts are saying COVID-19 could be downgraded from pandemic status to endemic status, meaning it's more like the annual flu we experience. Dr. Stephen Bickle, Flagler County's medical director, predicts Omicron will be the last major coronavirus wave.
We have a decent level of herd immunity in the country, but it's partial herd immunity because Omicron is not fully sensitive to the antibodies that were induced by the vaccine or prior infection. So that's why this is going to be milder. If we had herd immunity to Omicron, it wouldn't be spreading. So what's happening is there's enough immunity to prevent bad infections in people, but not to prevent spread.
By the time this is over, Dr. Bickle predicts all residents will have either been infected with the virus or vaccinated against it.
And anybody who's susceptible to Omicron, either from waning immunity or no immunity, is going to have it and will have immunity to Omicron, which could be fairly long-lasting. So I think this wave will die out. In other areas, the waves have been pretty steep and then came down quickly, like South Africa, and it looks like that in UK. So I predict end of January it will be probably kind of through this.
Bickle also talks about an antiviral pill, stronger monoclonal antibody treatments, and enhanced immunity, making the virus endemic. Bob Snyder is Flagler County's health officer.
We're not Grinches after all. The antiviral pill by Pfizer, Paxlovid, can be a real big game changer here, and it's right around the corner. So we have great hope for the future.
A Flagler County Sheriff's Office supervisor is now a certified crime intelligence analyst. Karen Johnson has more.
Supervisor Nicole North graduated from the Florida Law Enforcement Analyst Academy. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement just announced the graduation of 21 law enforcement analysts from 10 criminal justice agencies throughout the state, who all serve in crime intelligence analyst roles after completing a 6-week course. Nicole started with the FCSO in 2018 as a domestic violence analyst and received a commendation from Sheriff Staley for her professionalism, knowledge, teamwork, and support during a missing persons case. She was promoted to senior analyst of the RTCC in January of 2021, was awarded Employee of the Month, and was recently promoted to the RTCC Supervisor in October. The goal of the Florida Law Enforcement Analyst Academy is to provide a uniform training curriculum in the area of law enforcement analysis. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.